What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're starting a brand new series of videos on the channel called the Stream Coach series. We'll be going through a couple different episodes of what makes you look and sound more professional as a content creator and as a streamer. Today we're going to look at part one of a part two series. Today we're going to be covering three of the most important parts of running the stream of making YouTube content. We're going to talk about lighting today, audio, and camera. These are the three most important parts of having a professional looking setup, having a professional looking stream and videos. So the first thing we're going to talk about is lighting. There's three different types of lights that you're going to need for a video setup, for a stream setup, and we'll talk about those right now. First one is a key light. Basically what a key light is the main light that's coming directly from behind your webcam, behind your camera, beside it. It's your main source of light. Here I'm going to turn off my other lights just to show you what it's going to look like. So basically right here, this is just lighting with my key light on. This is directly behind my webcam, and this is what's putting the most light on my face, on my person as possible. Second light we're going to talk about is your fill light. Basically what the fill light's going to do is it's going to come from this direction, and it's going to be hitting my face somewhere in here to add some contrast across my face, so you'd be able to see like contours and the shadows. Not that I have a lot because of the beard, but let me turn it on. This is with the fill light on. The fill light, like I said, it's just going to build that contrast around the chin, shadows here by the nose. Really doesn't do a lot on my setup. This is with my fill light on and my key light on. You can see now we got some shadows and some contrast going across the face. And this is what the fill light's meant to do. It goes on the opposite side of your key light, build onto that contrast, builds the shadows, builds its definition. Now, this is all you need for a stream. It separates you enough from your background. This is what I use for my stream setup. But the third light is called a hair light. Basically what the hair light does is it comes down on top of your head and lights up the center of the subject, just to separate you from your background even more. I'm going to show you what my phone's flashlight is going to do. Basically, it's going to be the same as a light that's sitting up on top, your room light, anything like that. So I'm just holding my phone with my flash on above my head, basically showing you. You can see the definition of my hair now. It adds that little extra, separates you from your background if you don't have full lighting in your room. If you don't want to shell out the extra money for all these lights, don't worry. Lights are cheap. If you don't want to shell out the money for the expensive lights like the Elgato key lights or the newer LED panels, don't worry. The two lights that I'm running are just small little ring lights that I got from the local Best Buy. Just clamp onto my mount arms for my monitors, and I use those for lighting. But like I said, this is my stream lighting. This is what I'm going to be using most of the time for lighting for videos. Moving forward, I'm going to have a hair light sometime for the next couple of videos. Second thing we're going to get into right now is audio. Audio is the second most important thing to a YouTube video, to a stream, right next to lighting. We're going to talk about three different filters that are offered on OBS and Streamlabs OBS that are going to help make your audio sound better and run smoother. First thing we want to talk about is audio is measured in decibels. If you do not know, decibels, dB, however it's written down, however it's shown. Basically, what a decibel is and a dB is just a frequency and the loudness of your audio together. So the first filter we're going to talk about is a compressor. Basically what a compressor does is it cleans high pitches and it prevents your mic from peaking. I'd show you what a perfect example of peaking is, but I have a Go XLR and it prevents me from taking my compressor off, which is a bummer. But basically if you have one of those great moments in your game, or you get a jump scare in a game or this or that, and you scream or you're hollering at the top of your lungs, basically what the compressor is going to do is it's going to prevent your mic from making those god awful noises that everybody uses on the headset mic. Second thing we're going to talk about is gain. There's two types of gain. There's normal gain and then there's makeup gain. Normal gain is the input volume of your mic. Whatever you're putting into it is input gain. Your makeup gain is realistically the output gain going to your mixer, going to your computer, going to your stream. Normal gain takes into effect before compressors, before noise gate, which we're going to talk about next, and allows certain decibels to go through after all your filters are added. So now we're on the noise gate. Noise gate is the complete opposite of a compressor. Like I said, a compressor is for those high-end frequencies. A noise gate is going to cut your mic off at a certain frequency pickup. A noise gate is basically only going to allow a certain point of decibels to be picked up through your mic. Basically, this is saying if you set your noise gate at a specific volume, maybe you won't hear the fans blowing in the background, the AC running, etc., etc., etc. I do want to let you guys know, if you are enjoying the content and maybe you're learning something new and you like this video, please like it, leave a comment with what you want to see talked about on this coach series, and subscribe so you do not miss out on the rest of this series or the next part. The third thing we're going to talk about, our camera. I'm going to run you through 3 filters real quick that'll help increase the quality of not only your webcams, but your DSLR cameras as well. And again, these are all offered on OBS and Streamlabs OBS. First one is color correction. Color correction is the adjustment of white and blacks, the exposure, the contrast, and the white balance of basically the picture that everybody's going to see. As you can see right now, this webcam, I'm using a C920 right now to record this, and it doesn't look bad. It's a little bit grainy in some of the darker colors, which is just the webcam with bad lighting. But I'll show you what it looks like without the color correction in this lighting. Here's what the C920 looks like in my lighting, in my current situation, without a color correction. You can see how white the whites are and how like lighter the blacks and shadows are. The exposure kind of sucks. There's not a whole lot of contrast across the picture, and the white balance is kind of really bad. There's a lot of whites. Now if I throw the color correction back on, but with the color correction back on, now we get to see the exposure, the contrast, the saturations, and the white and black balances. The second filter we're talking about is chroma key. Now if you're not like me and you don't like showing off your mess behind you, because I don't care, it's a mess, it is what it is, you can buy what's called a green screen. A lot of people are talking about green screens. Air quotes are there for a reason. Green screens are green, magenta, and blue. Commonly used are the green ones just because there's no green pigments in your skin. Most of the time, not a green pigment in your eye. Basically, what we're going to use a chroma key for is to key out a specific color range. Basically, it's going to be like super mint green. You're going to need correct lighting on it to make it key out better. But it's going to prevent everybody from seeing this mess back here. And they're just going to see you and then your game behind you. The third filter really isn't a filter. It's more about aspect ratio and just making sure your camera is running at the correct settings for your camera. Camera is running at the correct settings for your camera. Okay. The C920 runs at 16:9 aspect ratio. Some other cameras run at 3:4. Most of your DSLRs run default at 3:4, which you could change to 16:9. 16:9 is the basic aspect ratio for 1920 by 1080. Simple. Not a whole lot to go into depth about aspect ratio. That's all I got for today, guys. But if you want to look forward to part 2 of the series coming out later this week, next episode we're going to be talking about having a professional looking Twitch stream. We're going to talk about overlays, scenes, sources, and possibly alerts as we go into it. Like I said earlier, if you guys want to leave a like, a comment on something maybe you want to see on the series, maybe you have a question on something that I can answer for you, just leave that down below. Hit subscribe, smack the bell so you don't miss out, and I'll see you next time.